Got it. Done and got it. Alrighty, y'all. Peace and greetings to you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hassan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at northwest of Maxim. How are you? Guys, I'd like to welcome you to our 7-day tropic medical astro weather report, which we do every Iloa Rafael, which is Wednesday, right? Wednesday, right? And guys, I am here with our magnificent and beloved brother, in whom we are well pleased, and he is
Islam, peace and love, Hazia Moor. Everyone out there, soy Hamano. I am Brother Sean Aleem El, and you already know that all is well. All right, and man, bro, I almost had it perfectly. But it slipped my mind. What was that appellation, bro? What the bros gave? I be forgetting. What was it?
All of it's fine, right? So guys, we'd like to welcome you to our 7-day tropic medical astro weather report. This is going to be very brief. We're going to do flash testimonies, right? Which is a fun technique that we do. And knocking it out. We have quite a bit of transits to go over. Guys, it's Virgo season. So shout out to all the Virgos. I think Sun ingress Virgo, and we'll go back into it. I think it was today. Was it about 501? Was it about 501 post meridian?
Indeed, yeah.
I think it was 501.
501 anti-meridian. Indeed.
Okay, so that's 501 this morning, right? And then at about 3:59 and post meridian Eastern, 1500 hours, 59 minutes, Mercury appeared station retrograde. So now not only are we dealing with the Sun ingress in Virgo, also apparently Mercury retrograde while it's dominant in Virgo and exalted by some thoughts pertaining to certain astrologers. You know, some astrologers like, well, really, I think Mercury is exalted in Aquarius, right? And usually the trans-Saturnian planets have no exaltations, but I think some people may give Uranus exalted in Scorpio, Pluto exalted in Aries, and Neptune.
I've seen like exalted in Leo. I've seen I think it's somewhere in Leo, one of the books.
Neptune. I think it's funny because I think to a certain extent it might be to a certain extent Sagittarius. It might be, if not. But I gotta remember what I was studying when I came across that, so I can bring it to the forefront more. However, other than that, guys, we're just going to really knock this out. We're not going to belabor, guys. Go to 7healstar.com, sign up for our email list, and explore the page. Right, last couple of presentations, we'll go on the website and take you around. But guys, we want you to do that, right? Really support 7 Heal Star, support us. Alrighty, schedule your reading, order a report. Alrighty, you won't be disappointed. Alrighty, and as always, and we'll put in the description once it's posted, you'll see I am Brother Sean's Cash App in the descriptions. Make sure you donate to both accordingly. All right. So with that being said, getting caught in my head. It happens. So yeah, I know, right? Sometimes I'm like, don't do it. I always kind of get caught on the stars. You know what I mean? The crescent moons, it doesn't really get caught as much. But all right, because I'm ready to go make me some tea. So what I'm going to do is we're going to knock this out. So I'm just going to screen share right now. All right. Start that broadcast there. All right. And I'm going to bring up our 7-day tropic medical astro 7-day tropic medical astro weather report. here we have the 7-heel star astro calendar for March Aries 2023 to February Pisces 2024. Quote, time never was when man was not, end quote. And we are quoting Al-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali during religious corporate activity, being Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All right. And we're going to the month here that has both Leo, the fire sign, Leo, the lion, anciently and contemporarily ruled by Sol, right? That's the sun. And the earth sign Virgo, the virgin, anciently and contemporarily ruled by Mercury. And that month is known as August, right? August, right? And we all know that August is the 6th month, if you're counting from, you're going and, doing things zodiacally speaking, right? March, April, May, June, July, August, right? So, however, I know by the Sothic Gregorian calendar, as it's said, it's documented as the 8th month according to starting from the Janus Bifrontis month of January. So as you guys can see, again, we're going through the 24th through the 30th, 24th through the 30th. So let's just get right onto it. So for the 24th, right, we have Brother Hassan Ghazi Obey going through those two transits, those two lunar transits, sextile Mars and Pluto, before having a moon void of course, when the moon is making its last transit during this first quarter moon day, while transiting Scorpio, it will be void of course for 2 hours and 57 minutes. Then it will egress Scorpio and then ingress Sagittarius at 0400 hours and 7 minutes, or 4:07 anti-meridian Eastern. That is 4:07 in the morning. Then after that, we'll see the first quarter moon happening. We have Sun square Luna happening at about 0500 hours, 57 minutes. And then those other two transits. So those are 6 events I will be going over there. Then on the 25th, Brother Sean Ali Mel for the Holy Day has those two transits there, a trine and a square for Venus and Mercury, while Luna continues its transit through Sagittarius. On the 26th, it is Brother Hassan Ghazi Obey for these 5 events that are taking place, 4 transits and 1 ingress, as Luna goes with, of course, at 0700 hours and 56 minutes for about 1 hour and 9 minutes before ingressing Capricorn. On the 27th, Brother Sean Aline L is going in on 4 transits and 1 ingress, right? Mars is finishing up roughly, sort of kind of, it's void, of course, and will be ingressing Libra, where it is said to be debilitated, right? Mars is debilitated in Libra. That's what it said. However, I'm no doom and gloom astrologer. I just look at it as Mars has to act out the Libran script, right? So Mars wants to be, I want to get it, I want to be driven, but it's got to do it with balance. So, it's kind of like, Mars in Libra is kind of like skating rink balance. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I look at it. It's like going to a roller rink. For the 28th, it is Brother Hassan Ghazi Obey. I have 3 transits, and that lunar ingress into Aquarius after the moon is void, of course, while finishing up this transit through Capricorn for 2 hours and 42 minutes. Luna will be void, of course, again for 2 hours and 42 minutes before ingressing Aquarius. Then on the 29th, right? Let's see, did we clear that thing up? Let's see, I know it was trying to clear it up. Okay, there it is. It doesn't look blurry. For the 29th, Brother Sean Ali Mel goes in on those 3 transits. And it's amazing how quick from where we are now within our transit, Earth, how quick Luna's transiting Aquarius, right? It goes through Aquarius pretty quickly in about, under 25 hours, actually. Maybe about 24 hours and 33 minutes Luna gets through, which is odd, right? You don't see Luna go through a sign so quickly, right? Usually you'll see Luna go through, and I'll make sure I'm looking at this properly, right? Oh no, pardon me. I no, hold on. It's more than that. 24 plus 11 gives me 35 hours, maybe 33 minutes. Maybe that's right. 35 hours and 33 minutes. Did I get that right? 30. Let me see.
Let's see.
Maybe it's 36 hours and 33 minutes. Yeah, from 10:31 to 10:31 is 24 hours up to another 10:31 p.m., which would get me another 12. So 24 plus 12 gives me 36 and then 33 minutes. So 30.
Yep, yeah. 36, 33. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So forgive me, guys. I wanted to correct myself there. Thank you, Brother Sean, for making sure the correction is solid. So yeah, so Luna, for 36 hours and 33 minutes, it goes through all 30 degrees of Aquarius. That's interesting because usually and it depends on really where we are within our own transit while observing the sun to even really gauge where we are along in the zodiac. But for the moon to go through Aquarius, and that time is very unique, right? And
Hashtag fast like a
things
NASCAR.
I pay attention to. Yeah, I know, right? Like super duper, right? Because usually on average, you'll see the moon go about 12 and a half, 13 degrees a day, but you're looking at a day and a half of that. So that means Mercury's knocking out all 30 degrees of Aquarius, right? And then going void of course. Well, it technically, so I'll take that back. It's kind of going 15 degrees almost within 48 hours-ish, because it goes void of course after 36 minutes and 33 seconds. And then there's another 10 hours and 52 minutes until it ingresses Pisces on the 30th. So let me even take that back and be even more clear. It's going to be 36 hours and 33 minutes for Luna to reach void of course. So if I add those other 10 hours, now we're at 46 hours, 33 minutes. And really we'll be at, if we add another 52 minutes to that, we will be at like 37 hours-ish and 28 minutes, maybe. I'm sorry, 47 hours and 28 minutes. So it's like in under 2 days, which would be 48 hours. In under 2 days, Luna's doing more than 15 degrees a day while in Aquarius. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because a lot of times that's what I do. You know how they say Pluto, it takes Pluto 248 years to go around the zodiac. However, for those of us that may have manifested, around the late 80s, mid to late 80s, well, technically for me, it would still be kind of early 80s because it's right before mid 80s. You'll have noticed that Pluto's gone from the end of Libra till about the end of Capricorn in less than 40 years. So that's quite a few signs if you think about it. That's 90 degrees worth of signs. But that's because right around the end of Libra through to about Aquarius, that's when you see Pluto moving the fastest, so to speak, as far as within these days and times, as far as observing, its transits. And it appears that, Pluto will be taking its longest time in Taurus. It takes about 32 years to go through Taurus, even though it looks like it only took about 11 to 12 years to go through Scorpio in the last bit of the 80s and 90s, so to speak. So it's like, kind of looking at that is very interesting too. Just to, kind of spark you guys' astronomical mind in looking at these things and kind of thinking about the mathematics on average. I know we can give a mean average to transits, so, it is what it is. However, and on the 30th, where the moon is full after it makes its ingress into Pisces after finishing up its transit during that 10-hour and 52-minute void of course. So you already know, guys, from 23:04 or 11:04 p.m. Eastern on the 29th till about 9:56 in the morning on the 30th. You don't want to make any transactions. Alrighty, so make sure you do all your shopping for then, prepare your food and everything so that you ain't got to go and quote unquote buy you some break fast. For those of you that eat break fast, there you go, breaking your fast in the morning. Have some things prepared early. Make sure you don't transact any finances till after 9:56, because we all unless you are, having to, take care of something that you got on credit and you're just, knocking it out, then okay, that makes sense because that transaction was already made. It's just a deferred transaction as far as, taking care of your tab or credit, so to speak. However, as Brother Hassan Ghazi, obey for that lunar ingress into Pisces, and then those two transits there. So we're going to knock this out. We're going to do this. Just wanted to give you guys something to get the mind going a little bit. However, again, today's the 23rd, guys. As you can see, that Sun ingress Virgo at 5:01 anti-meridian Eastern, 0500 hours, 1 minute, or what some will say 5:01 a.m. Eastern, right? So with that being said, guys, Virgo season, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
hey.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hey, right?
I'm serious member.
So, so let's come on back here, stop the screen share, and knock this thing on now, right? Of course, I know I kick things off, so let me bada bing, bada boomski. Bring this thing on up right here. Give my bro. Yeah, I know, right? Give my bro that remote control.
Instead of saying, haha, wee.
Yeah, you're hilarious, man. Straight up, right? So with that being said, okay, that's right, bro. You said you put the for the course notes in the chat. Awesome. What I shall do, right, is bring up the calendar within my phone so I can kind of monitor that there. However, guys, sunrise, looky, Astro Cookie. So we've got a sunrise taking place, right, here. And it's interesting because, too, I can even make a point about this Mercury retrograde that's taking place right here, as we can see within the first house, along with this sunrise. But what I would like to say here, guys, this is where you can really take charge and paying attention to details in your life. Be serious about your exercise. You want to exercise, get to it. Don't bluff on your exercise, right? I know we're looking at a sunrise here taking place at 0600 hours, 31 minutes, 56 seconds for the 24th of August, 2023, right? So, yep, sun's here. Mercury is ruling this sunrise, of course, while retrograde at 21 degrees, 50 minutes, right? Within the first house, along with Lilith there. So have no, you're going to have some fascination. Don't deny yourself that exercise, all right? Don't deny yourself that exercise. Have some fun, right? And just to speak about that Mercury retrograde, I'm going to show you guys, this is what, kind of looking at this, right? If we pay attention right here. So, I got it highlighted for Mercury station retrograde, August 23rd. And we can see that Mercury slowed down at about 8 degrees Virgo, right? 0 minutes. That was when it entered its retrograde zone, or some people call it the retrograde shadow. And we see here, 21 degrees, 51 minutes is where it went station retrograde for the 23rd, right, which is today. And once it apparently retrogrades to 8 degrees Virgo again, it will be station direct. And I think it will be out of its zone once it hits back to the 21st degree Virgo, 51 minutes on the 30th. So this whole Mercury retrograde energy has been on and popping since 3rd August until the 30th of September. I want to make sure we're clear about that, because it's usually roughly, give or take, anyway between like 57, 58 to maybe 60 to 63 days, usually for that Mercury retrograde energy that takes place about 3 to 4 times a year. So I just wanted to kind of get you guys to just kind of look at that energy as far as this retrograde energy is taking place, so you can comprehend a little more about what it looks like. And, sometimes to us, this is kind of what it looks like right here. It's like, hey, here's 8 degrees Virgo, and it looks like it's going all the way here. And then from Earth, it appears to look like it's going back to 8 degrees, and then it's station direct. You see the station retrograde, you see the station direct. And then, while these things are happening, we actually see that, it gets here, it's trine Jupiter, gets here, it's conjunct its own placement when it's there, as we're just looking at a chart for that day or whatever. So that's why it's looking like a Mercury conjunct Mercury, squaring Luna and conjunct Mars all during this time. So just kind of how that energy is looking. And anywho, let's get back to what we was going to. And I yield Islam while I still bring this calendar up on the phone here. So with that being said, we already know I have before sunrise, just 9 minutes after midnight, I have a lunar sextile Mars. Alrighty, so with Luna sextile and Mars there, guys, Luna is there in the 6th house at 27 degrees. All right. So, hey, man, if you got something that you want to communicate, you got to do a service to someone. Dude, don't do a disservice to yourself and your own subconscious mind. Make sure you share whatever it is that can get things behind the scenes going, while at the same time having a means to have a little bit of harmony with your active activities. Okay, hold on. I was hearing something. I'm like, hold up, what was that? I think that was the Bucky. So, Mars is there in the 5th house, while in Virgo at 27 degrees, 50 minutes in Virgo. So, I think when it comes to basically communicating actively what's on our mind, hey, let's be active about communicating some things, take the weight off our subconscious mind, be able to share some things that will probably make things behind the scenes go a little faster. Maybe you can produce some things go a little quicker, make sure you give details so that what may be some isolated actions to help, activities pertaining to serving yourself and serving others can go a little smoother just by making sure your preparatory work is in order. Alrighty. And as we can clearly see, Mercury is ruling over the 5th house, while Venus is ruling over the 6th house. So again, with that, if there's some long distance traveling you have to do and you're planning some kind of trip, make sure you have all your beauty products and things like that, so you don't have to find yourself going back because you may forget some things. Might not be the best time to travel, but maybe you already planned for a particular trip of some sort, or if that's the case, or make sure you check your checklist before your trip for whenever you're about to take your trip. Is be a good time to make sure you're checking that checklist. All righty. So with that being said, I'm going to yieldeth the flooreth, and next we have Luna sextile Pluto, and that's happening about approximately 10 minutes after 1. It's about an hour and 1 minute roughly after this transit here, right? And with that being said, we have Luna still there in Scorpio at 28 degrees, 23 minutes. And Pluto is at 28 degrees, 23 minutes in the 8th house in Capricorn, right? Saturn is ruling over the activities pertaining to Pluto, while Mars, but some people would even say Pluto, right? Using the modern type of energy. So we really just looked at Mars and Pluto, and Mars actually is applying trine to that Pluto, which is at its exaltation degree. Mars's exaltation degree is 28 degrees. What we can actually even say about that action pertaining to that moon there, guys, this is a means for you to really look over the details, really pay attention. If there's something going on with finances, you have merged some finances with someone else, be very particular about how you're going to go about spending those finances. Be very particular about the details that you're going to speak on pertaining to that shared energy. You don't want to, kill yourselves, so to speak, as far as your happiness or your joy, by not making sure you're doing your best to express yourself and really take a look at The books really, you know, if it's even dealing with receipts or some particular type of accounting, it will be much lighter on your own psychology to make sure you do yourself a service and just pay attention to the details pertaining to finances and the finances that you have joined or have a joint account with anyone in particular, whether it's business partners or even your consorts. And with that, I yield the floor. Next, we are looking at Luna entering Sagittarius after going 2 hours and 57 minutes void of course, right? You know, so made no major transactions between 0 100 hours and 10 minutes on the 24th until 4 hours and 7 minutes, right, on the 24th. So for those 2 hours and 57 minutes, you know, don't be up, you know, ordering things. You know what I mean? Unless it's an emergency, I guess. You know, but other than that, Luna's ingressing Sagittarius clearly within the 5th house, right? So with that being said, just if you are feeling a little uncomfortable, it probably would be best to do things to be as creative as you can. If you're staying somewhere that you normally don't feel comfortable, but you have to temporarily make this place your home, do your best to just beautify it as best as you can by having a little bit of your own self-expression there. Maybe you want to give it some something pertaining to your childhood that you always normally have. Break that out of the suitcase or the tote if you have to make a sudden change in your movements. However, if there's anyone that you have to have an interaction with that you may have wanted to avoid, just make sure you don't allow your childhood, insecurities to, come into play. Make sure you, be very aware about the details that you enjoy about your own daily routine, however, and just do your best to just express yourself without hindering that self-expression because you feel like you need to walk on eggshells. There's no need to. Just be yourself. All right, seriously. And because whoever, you are a house guest to, or wherever you have to stay temporarily, even if it's maybe some kind of foreign place, maybe it's a hotel or something, maybe it's a room, maybe it's an Airbnb, get comfortable. Don't limit yourself because you're not going to sleep well if you do so. All right. And with that, I yield the floor. First quarter moon's popping off at about 0500 hours, 57 minutes, right? So we have a solar lunar quartile taking place. Of course, the sun's in Virgo. All right. Luna's in Sagittarius. Sun's there in the first house. So this is all before sunrise. It's these first four things that I'm speaking on. So this is number 4. Sol is in the first house, ruling the ascendant at this time. Leo is ruling 24th degree of, Sun's ruling 24th degree of Leo here, which is on the first house cusp, as you can see. So, guys, back to that hotel energy, right? Talking 24 degrees, right? This is where you got to do your best to just be creative, all right? I will also say, I trust that no one has to deal with, some type of negative energy, some harmful energy pertaining to the physical body, as far as, a danger in the hotel, so to speak, or you travel far away and you're having to deal with someone who could be possibly putting your life in danger at this particular hotel. So make sure you are good in securing yourself, lock the doors if necessary. I'm not a doom and gloom astrologer. I just can't ignore my intuition in the moment, seeing what this energy is actually, to be completely honest with you. So, if there's someone, there was some type of energy that there's no longer a mutual acceptance between, let's say, if you're a couple, so to speak, whoever you are, don't chase whoever else it is to the hotel. It's not looking like a good positive energy here. You might want to just, probably better for you to write your emotions down instead of act them out so you don't harm anybody. If you guys see something on the news about something happened at a hotel, just, let us know how accurate we were, so to speak. If you're going through something there, put it in a chat. You know what I mean? and let us know. Hey, look, I avoided doing this because I watched the weather report. All right, so that's great. Moving forward, right? Because 7 heals stars. So we're all about the healing, guys. Moving forward, we have Luna squaring Saturn. So there's a lunar Saturnian quartile taking place at 1100 hours 29 minutes. So this is about 31 minutes before noon. It's exactly 11:28:52 to be exact. Right. So Luna's there in Sagittarius at 4 degrees 2 minutes, and we know that Saturn's retrograde in Pisces. They're in the 4th house. So this is dealing with the 2nd and 4th house. It's so funny. Finding some valuables, anything that's very valuable to you pertaining to home, hide your valuables. If you have to find a way to keep them safe or things of that nature, make sure you put them somewhere where it's not so obvious, and keeping things protected. If you got to keep them on yourself in a compartment inside of your clothing that's not so obvious to find. And with that being said, I think it would be best for us to kind of go over our steps again, collectively speaking, to go over our steps again, make sure we are repeating a security check if possible in some way, shape, or form, so that we can be able to take the necessary steps and not have to do anything radical by rebelling against securing things. Because, wherever we are right now, even if we're not traveling physically, but traveling in our minds, it would be best to just be secure in whatever it is that we're thinking about as far as studying. And in that study, make sure you're just making your notes and jotting your notes so that you can be able to bring them up later on to assist you for when you move forward on some knowledge being poured out to you. It's going to be very fortunate for you to do so. So just make sure you allow yourself to be able to do that so that you can be very successful in really securing yourself appropriately. Make sure you're having the essentials that will allow you to isolate the wisdom when necessary, or share some things that you have learned in your spare time. It will definitely come in handy when it needs to be communicated. And with that, I yield the floor. Lastly, for the 24th, August 2023, we have a looky Astro cookie. There's that Martian Plutonian trine I said it was cooking back when I was speaking about that Luna sextile Pluto, right? So here we go. Mars is clearly in the 7th house in Virgo, right? Mars having a so-called accidental dignity there. However, I think this is where we would do our best to be as kind as possible to our loved ones, right? You don't want to come off harsh or brash. Maybe this would be a great day. Maybe you're in a swimming pool somewhere, right? So if you're in a swimming pool and you're with your loved one, right, enjoying that swim, make sure at the same time you have a mindset to keep things safe and to be safe. Make sure there are other people there. Make sure you're watching the children too, if you're doing this as a family or with relatives. Alrighty, because it would be best if you're near that water, and it would be best to just kind of pay attention to detail. Make sure everybody can swim, right? Like seriously, make sure everybody can swim. Don't play too rough in the pool with your relatives. Make sure no one's going to hit their head on the wall if you're doing some dunking or things of that nature, and make sure you're not diving in shallow winds there. That's just kind of just what I see right now. Again, no doom and gloom astrology, just really just sharing what I'm seeing within my intuition in the moment. You'll thank yourself later as you make it very fortunate for yourself, making sure you're just, putting the beauty pertaining to safety ahead of all the activities if ones are swimming with their relatives, and paying attention to everyone's children. Also, make sure the lifeguards are attentive. All righty. So with that, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom we well please, Brother Sean Alim El Islam.
Ruski gratitude.
Indeed.
Alrighty, so we are now at the holy day, Friday. All right, we got Sun at 1 degree, 59 minutes Virgo. So you know it's Virgo season. Hey. Don't forget to get your Synastry reading because it's also scouting season. Hey.
For the cuffing season, right? Scouting period. All right, yeah.
All right, so 1 degrees, right? Rolling over the first house. No, actually, pardon me. Rolling over 12th house. But Mercury the final say so in the first. So and with Mercury being retrograde, this is just a, as they would say, like ego consciousness, kind of conscious mind, oneness, unity here. So just getting to the details of oneself, getting to the deepest, darkest parts, the organized parts. And then now after that, Mercury goes retrograde, putting oneself back together. So don't be afraid to really look at self and evaluate self during this Virgo season, this energy. And just be open to a new beginning. And with that, I yield the floor. All right, so for the first aspect, we have a lunar Venusian trine. All right, Luna's in definitely still in that 4th house, 14 degrees, 4 minutes. Venus is in its 12th. Right? They would say Lucifer has risen. As some would say, for those who get that right. So
yeah, it's definitely morning star. It definitely is that Venus. You're correct. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, this is a 4th and a 12th. 5th. So yeah. This is, and it's a holy day as well. So yeah, just treat oneself if one can, right? To maybe a good book or no, this is kind of more like, you know, kicking with the fam at home, maybe ordering a movie or ordering takeout, something foreign, like if someone's never tried like Greek, you know, so-called Greek or quote unquote Indian food or something like that. Maybe someone, you know, tries that today and orders that, you know, treating themselves and their loved ones and, you know, really just appreciating the beauty of loved ones and if someone to say family and just the things that are unseen. You know, that always can kind of come at times and show that light of within oneself. So, you know, see the beauty in everything. And with that, I yield the floor. Next up, looks like we have a lunar Mercurian square. All right, so Moon is definitely in that 10th house. Mercury is definitely in that 8th. Pardon me, no, 7th. Ooh, it's a lot going on in that 7th house. Ooh, yes. So Mercury lunar square. Let's just once again finding some stimulation with Mercury retrograde. We're really looking within, you know, ourselves at the details of the pieces, and you know, nurturing ourselves with knowledge, wisdom, motivation, to uplift ourselves at the home, away from home, in our jobs, careers, whatever we do. You know, not letting challenges stray us away from, you know, lessons that are there to learn. So appreciating those things and, you know, changing how we communicate within ourselves, becoming more logical and more mindful thinking, right? Rather than, like that unconventional thinking that, you know, transforms, as they would say, the status quo, quote unquote. And also just, you know, removing things from our spirit that are restricting. So be open to the changes and things that show, you know, bring a higher sense of learning and education. With that, I yield the floor back to my bro.
Indeed, guys. So we have a sunrise taking place. There are 2 degrees, 57 minutes, right? Very interesting degree to where this is happening. I'm definitely going to pay attention to the energy of the 26th. I really am. Of course, this is between I honestly I had to really rethink that though. As far as those degrees, you know, just to be clear. But I know we're looking at a very powerful degree here when paying attention to just our daily routine and how we work and paying attention to our health. So, maybe when it comes to, fine foods, make your fine food, a healthy choice. Make a healthy, fine food decision, on this day. You won't be disappointed. Don't beat yourself. Simply treat yourself with this, right? And because what you'll actually find here, alrighty, with treating yourself accordingly, right? What you'll actually find here is really a means for you to maybe see, and go over something again. You may start a new stash for yourself when it comes to whatever particular food this is. It's a healthier choice that you had no idea was really that good. And this may make you try to find more ways of eating healthier. However, because now you've found a new passion for this particular seemingly fine food. However, it's actually healthy for you. So for those of you that are looking to eat without having to take on any animal byproduct, or as far as any animal flesh, any animal's milk, or eggs of that sort, in any part of the animal kingdom, air, land, or sea, you may find that, hey, I had no idea that this particular, herbs or plants in this combination with this particular, grain, so to speak, would be this tasty. And it allows you to now kind of get over the fascination and denial pertaining to that decision. And what will actually happen is now you can, finally do something that was given to you maybe about a year or two ago. It might have been a couple of years ago that these suggestions were made, but you probably didn't have your mind set nor your heart set on these things. However, now what you'll find is, and maybe you already kind of had that meal already, you're just kind of waking up to a little bit left next to you in your bed or on your nightstand, or the packaging is still there also. And you wake up like, I'm gonna get me some more of that today, right? So enjoy your new decision in doing so. With that, I yield the floor. And, kind of just taking a look at things, honestly. We're looking at this next transit, though, however. Peaceful greetings to you all, to Brother Seven, Mother Janelle, Blash Out, Brother Dark, Blash Bay. Peaceful greetings to you all and Islam.
Peace.
Right? So, Islam. So my first transit prior to sunrise here on the 26th, guys, is Luna squaring Neptune. So there's a lunar Neptunian quartile that's clearly taking place while the sun is ruling the ascendant here, right? However, Luna's there in the 5th house at 26 degrees, Sagittarius, 55 minutes. Neptune is in the 9th house there in Pisces at 26 degrees, 55 minutes retrograde. So what I like to say here, guys, for those of you that may be kind of, you may be doing like beauty school tutorials or some sort, or doing some things with your hair, or, maybe you'll be up this late, or maybe you're just kind of trying to find a way to get comfortable because you've allowed yourself to do something different with your hair. However, who knows, maybe if you're dealing with so-called braids or some sort, heads feeling a little tight, things of that nature, you're just going to try to find a way to really adjust how you're going to institute comfort while laying there. You may find something that you never thought of before, but being able to be comfortable, and you find it very fortunate for you to be able to be very active in how to institute some different way of laying down there. So that, ye and your hair will be just fine, so to speak. Right. Or another way of really looking at this too is maybe when it comes to your back, honestly, maybe you find yourself needing some chiropractic adjustment. So maybe you're up at this time because you're having a little back pain and you're looking at chiropractic videos for self-adjustment. I think your self-adjustments will go favorably. just don't overdo it. All righty, in doing so. And if it is dealing with hair, what I will say is try your best to not hurt yourself. I think the neck is one of the things that's going to really stand out the most here. It's going to probably deal with a little bit of stress and strain. So you may, if you do go get a chiropractic adjustment and it's not dealing with the back, it may be dealing with the first and second cervical, known as the atlas place and axis place. So maybe you can get that done too, especially if you're finding yourself having blurred vision due to that first and second cervical pain, which is the atlas place and axis place. And with that, I yield the floor. Next is going to be, after that, and plus Luna's going to go void of course here, right? Luna's going void of course. The void of course moon for an hour and 9 minutes after this lunar Martian quartile, right? Moon squares Mars. Luna's there in the fourth house having accidental dignity. However, while at 29 degrees, so, we can really see that, there's some, need to, be successful this morning, right? Right after that sunrise, you want to have some means of success in moving forward. So you may pay attention to something in detail. If you're a so-called culinary artist, right, and you're finding yourself wanting to maybe prepare something a certain way, I think what you're going to pay attention to is how something's cooked, and you may keep things separated so that there isn't a certain sogginess. So you may find yourself preparing your own Lunchable type energy this morning, so that when you go to eat whatever it is that you would like to eat later, let's say, again, you're just, practicing some culinary art here. You're making sure that you're paying special attention to detail in making sure that it's not going to be ruined. So you want to make sure you're being successful in possibly the science pertaining to non-sogginess. So who knows, you may be someone who likes something on some form of bread or crackers, and before, when you made it, you had it all put together, and when you got to it, it's like, oh, all this is soggy. So now you're taking special attention to detail and making sure that moisture doesn't hit the things that you want to kind of toasty and crispy, while at the same time, those things that may have a little moisture to them of some sort are in separate packaging. So with that, enjoy that lunch. And I yield the floor. Moon is void of course for an hour and 9 minutes here. After it egresses Sagittarius, it will ingress Capricorn at about 0900 hours, 5 minutes, and 2 seconds to be exact, honestly. And Luna's ingressing Capricorn, where it says it's going to be debilitated. Oh no, Moon's feeling out of place, right? That's what exile is, E-X-I-L-E, out of place, right? However, it's taking place there in the third house. Here, I think you can be able to really discipline your emotions and really take on a communication, not take things so personally, and be able to express yourself also. It might be a form of communication that needs to be expressed openly, or maybe you'll actually probably see something while you're surfing the internet at this time of morning, possibly, and it will probably affect, maybe what it is that you do within your own career, right? And so you're finding ways to make adjustments so that you just can continue to be professional instead of emotional while moving forward with that, which is maybe having you thinking of taking on other methods, so to speak, pertaining to a higher learning that will further secure your position and your skill set pertaining to said career. And with that, I yield the floor. Now we have a solar lunar trine taking place. This is approximately about 1,400 hours and 38 minutes, 1,400 hours, 38 minutes, and 27 seconds to be exact, for the 26th of August, 2023. Soul's there in the ninth house, in its joy, right? Soul's in its joy at 3 degrees. All right. So there's definitely a joyful communication, maybe even by publication. Someone's going to publish something It's going to be really fun and awesome and enjoyable. However, it's going to 9 times out of 10 speak on the structure pertaining to some type of practice, maybe even in some type of science journal, or maybe someone will allow themselves to take on paying attention to the details of something. So you might be looking at some type of statistic publication. And when you're looking at this statistics publication, it'll allow you to set yourself up for having a better experience for whatever the statistical information is about. So for example, say you're into how people are out there doing this cryptocurrency stuff, I guess, just to put that out there, and you're paying attention to certain publications pertaining to the statistics of certain cryptocurrencies, you may find yourself seeing something that makes you feel joyful. However, it's going to have a bit of a fascination and denial in that communication. It's going to make you think about checking some things from a few months back, if not even up to a year back. And it's going to have you make decisions for the future that I will say, honestly, don't make too big of an investment. Do things on a small scale. I mean, me, myself personally, I'm not into the cryptocurrency world, even though, you know, I've been gifted cryptocurrencies and really just didn't even know what to really do with it. But honestly, at the end of the day, when making any big steps, I would not make those big steps. I would just, you know, if you're going to do something as far as day trading, little steps, make little progresses, and just kind of wait, honestly, until Luna's trying Jupiter. So wait about a day, roughly, right? When's Luna trining Jupiter? Honestly, Luna's trining Jupiter on the 27th at 10:57. So on that Sunday, next day at about 10:57 anti-meridian Eastern. So that's leading up to that. So if you're going to make that investment or whatever, and you're talking silver, maybe, okay, I guess if you're into silver and you want to be able to, you know, see how things are going, if that's your particular so-called investment, things may go good with silver here. Possibly. It's possible, but it's not going to be a huge leap or a huge jump, honestly, when it comes to silver, so to speak. It might actually be a sudden change. You might find yourself even breaking even, honestly, very much so. But just pay attention to that, just to be completely honest with you. And with that, I yield the floor. Next, we are looking at about 1,500 hours, 39 minutes. We're having a Luna Saturnian sextile here. So it's 1,500 hours, 38 minutes, and 48 seconds to be exact. Luna's clearly still there, 3 degrees, 53 minutes in Capricornio, while Saturn is there at 3 degrees, 53 minutes retrograde, while in the second house, right? So between the first and second house. So, you know, guys, you know, there's some self-beginnings you're thinking about taking on, right? And you want to make a transformation in your finances and these self-beginnings. Start off small, right? Allow yourself to start off small. Allow yourself to, because this is you trying something again for the second time. However, you learned your lesson from the first time. So go slow and steady and build up the momentum. And once the momentum gets going, then you can, you know, have that great time that you would like to have with this particular self-beginning with your finances. Alrighty. So it would be great to make sure you're paying attention to whatever's communicated about this particular investment that you're doing, maybe, or this chance that you're taking in your craft. Because ultimately you want to make sure that you don't, you know, kill the opportunity by being overly expectant about an outcome that maybe at this time is not going to manifest as you think. It will happen some time to come in the very near future. Maybe even, you know, the next day you'll actually have a few people that will actually, you know, come to you for that particular product and or service that you're providing by taking this chance, so to speak. But when it comes to this, you know, make sure you're willing to put your finances where it's necessary that it will come back, because it may seem like at first you took a loss. However, I really think this is where you need to be patient and kind of let the flow start off as a slow trickle before it begins to kind of turn into a wave, a rushed wave, so to speak. So just be patient with yourself beginning pertaining to your particular finances, because when it comes to your possessions, you may even find yourself getting some new possessions, but you're still planning to get some new possessions, but you're thinking of selling the old ones. So you might want to even consider that. You may not want to sell those things either, but weigh your options. You know why you may have to sell it and or not. All righty. So with that, I yield the floor to our beloved brother in whom we are well pleased, Brother Sean Aleem El Islam.
Yeah, salam, broski.
Indeed.
They hit the Knicks. Oh, right, at the 27th. All right, so we got sunrise and conjunct ascendant. All right, 3 degrees, 55 minutes, and that is the cusp, still at the cusp of the 13th lunar dimension, a critical degree. Right? Sun rule of the 12th, we know that Mercury is still right there in the first, so yeah, this is just getting organized in how one communicates. Maybe we're going to see, a rise and, beings looking to see how to market, see how to promote. Maybe they're missing over some details, right? Maybe they have a grand vision and don't have the necessary details to be really secure, and how they can really express that and be of service to others. So, getting astrology or getting maybe coaching calls or astro consultations, right? Mercury at 21 degrees. Still exalted, still very dominant. And it's just the higher learning. So things that are foreign to us. So when it comes to service and health, and things that are foreign to us, it's best to be open to always learning. A good saying is like, there's, never not a time where we can learn something. So always be okay with being a student and teacher at life. With that energy. And some things, definitely about to come up as I yield the floor and move along. And before that sunrise, sun will be reflecting Saturn. All right, so just even speaking on getting to the details, this is really reflecting in the 2nd and 8th houses. So just reflecting on our self-worth, our value, maybe surrendering to things that are out of our control when it comes to unseen matters, or just seeing as why some mindsets, some mentalities can just block one from their, inheritance, their title to the vast state. All right. With that energy, sun, just be open to look. Maybe it's a change in one's attitude or, identity change, and getting to the truth of the matter with that Mercury, being in retrograde in Virgo. It's really to get into the details. With Sun and Mercury being in Virgo, it's getting to the details and with things that are external to oneself, and also on things that are internal as well. And be able to see your value and worth regardless of, other things that might be projected onto you. All right, be able to always be open to see the both sides. And with that, I yield the floor, as now we have Mars moving into Libra. Right, as Brother Simon was talking about being debilitated, but it's just having to work harder, right? Or having to be more expressive. This could be even like, in the 12th house show, it'd be wild, if you see like a bunch of painters beefing, maybe with over whose painting's better or something like that, those type of episodes. But it's really just promoting and being driven towards seeing the beauty, right? So this is occurring in the 12th house. right? Spirituality, old age, unseen, or self-undoing, or maybe even mental bondage. So maybe one's unbalanced in their actions are mentally bonding them to a fascination to denial of something. Maybe their egos, the ego is too much to admit to it. But with Venus, ruling over that and also ruling over the ascendant in the 11th house, you'll be able to see a lot of connections, a lot of mental things when it comes to social media. So be sure to, be true to oneself and not worry about what one sees on social media. Don't compare. So maybe being the, as Brother Sign told me one time, being the change one wants to see, right? And not comparing oneself to others, but being open to working with others to bring more beauty with that energy. And Mars also ruling, let's see, that 7th house, right? And that's second. So it's just coming to seeing the values and within yourself and also within the, relationships or partnerships around one, and staying open to that beauty, right? And with that, I yield the floor. All right, so next up we have we're going on with 3 trines. Wow. All right, so Sun's trine Jupiter next, right? This will be in the 3rd and the 7th houses. And Brother Hassan was talking about investments, right? I think if one is, to do what I will, to work with these different tools that are out there, it's best to be secure within oneself and one's heart rather than what mind tells them, right? Letting spirit lead the way. So if one is detailed and really can able to see the different trends and different ways of things, make it worthwhile. With that energy, and Jupiter's in the 7th, is definitely expanding all of those things when it comes to the communications, whether it be televisions, news radios, newspapers, or via the internet, right? Really taking the structure and expounding upon it. So maybe a foundation had to be knocked away to rebuild. But Jupiter's there to, really help one expand what they have sowed. So at the end of the day, is what one's sowing beautiful? All right, Venus and the 10th. So maybe even also as well, just like I said, seeing the beauty and the things that one does, and not afraid to being bold when it comes to some things. A change that's different from what one's home upbringing or how everyone else, showed their light or tried to relate with others. Just finding one's own way. And with that, I yield the floor. Moving along, we got now a lunar Mercurian trine. So this is our harmony between our subconscious and our intuition and our active thinking mind. Luna, pardon me, is definitely in that 11th. Mercury is, oh man, I'm getting hit with it again in the 7th. Whew, in the 7th house. All right, so this is like a binge watching 7 Hill Star day on YouTube. If one, doesn't really have anything to do, or they find the time, really listen to some different playlists that we have on this day. I would say even, I'm recommending Worry Ties. Like, really check that out. On that playlist, as we have, plenty of other videos, and really just, being open to seeing the different changes within oneself. It's probably even, when scrolling with one's partner, or, if one doesn't have a partner, just scrolling and really seeing the beauty and foundation that one has built for themselves. Saturn is ruling over that Luna, all right? And I said Mercury's good with Mercury. Saturn's in the 12th, and it's joy. So just seeing the value of maybe restricting oneself from some things that could really be doing harm instead of help. All right, and with that, I yield the floor. For the final transit, we have a lunar Uranian trine. All right. On this Sunday, Luna's in the 9th. Uranus definitely in the 12th. Right. So this is radical change between when it comes to our philosophy or maybe law and religion. So maybe, finally making that change or just reading something as simple as a document or listening to honorable beings out there when it comes to spirituality and law and religion, because there is no separation between church and state, and someone might not really understand what that means, so they're either doing some reading or watching some Seven Hill Star content or other things out there, and they're able to piece it together that wow, there's really no separation between church and state. There really is more to things that I haven't allowed myself to see, right? Or that I have allowed my own foundational upbringing to see. But that's the beauty of higher learning, is allowing one to get past their structure, and it's kind of like not letting the sky be the limit. There we go. That was the words I'm looking for. It's kind of like the sky is no limit. Transform one's mind by studying occult knowledge and expanding upon that, or getting the readings to really be shown what one could really be missing out on, or they already knew that you already had. Maybe you just needed someone to really be that push, or be that voice that helps you hear that small still voice within yourself. So yeah. With that, I'm gonna yield the floor back to my bro.
All right, guys. So you see, we have at the Cancer degree, we have the sun at 4 degrees, 53 minutes in Virgo. So this is where we really probably find ourselves showing some love to our furry relatives. For those of you, if you have furry relatives, or maybe you have other types of pets, they may be some kind of amphibian, or maybe not. maybe they're not furry, maybe they're amphibian, maybe they're not scaly and an amphibian, maybe they're furry. But yeah, let's see, what would be furry animals,
or furless.
Dogs. What did you say?
I said or furless.
Yeah, it could be furless, right? You could have a hairless cat. However, this might be the day. Of course, this is very interesting because this is Moon Day, if I'm not mistaken, right? This is Moon Day we're looking at on the 28th, right? And so for that Moon Day, all right, you might be going over the excitement of things that happen on the 26th, for those of you that showed up on the 26th for our astrological astrological discussion, right? The astrology concept corrections discussion, and I'll bring that up on the screen once we yield. Let you guys know, you can just go to sevenhillstar.com, look at the events and classes that we're having, and sign up for that. But I'll go into detail just a bit before we yield after we do these transits. However, you're thinking probably on this Monday, hey man, Saturday was pretty awesome, right? It was great having that discussion. And, this is where you can probably just, as you're relaxing, maybe you're getting up early in the morning and enjoying the sunrise, or, getting your ground on early while the sun is, peaking above the horizon slowly but surely, for those of us that are, East coasting it. So with that being said, guys, just allow some light to be shined on, a little comfort, a little relaxing. Maybe, you are letting the sprinklers go too, maybe when it's kicking it with your furry friend, you're like, hey, furry friend that I let outside in the yard, stop running in the sprinklers, or maybe you need to remind yourself the night before this to set the timer for the sprinklers so that on Monday you'll be good, right? So with that being said, this is where I'm going to yield the floor on that. We have a transit before sunrise. It is a lunar sextile Neptune. happened approximately 500 hours, 29 minutes. It's 500 hours, 28 minutes, and 54 seconds to be exact for the 28th of August, 2023. And Luna is there in the 6th house with Pluto, of course, right? This is thoroughly interesting to see this. I think if you're working a hair salon, right? You're someone who works a hair salon, and maybe your shop is closed on Mondays. This would be a really good time to take care of your own hair, right? Or maybe you have some things planned later for that day, so you allow your shop to open early enough just for someone else to be able to do your hair, right, while in the shop. What's interesting about this is because you may be taking a trip, kind of not necessarily away from home, but maybe you're going to visit other family, maybe a family reunion, or maybe you're going back to where you may have manifested. Maybe you're someone near the Maryland State Republic. However, you want to make sure you get your hair done early because you have a trip, maybe about 3 or 4 hours to travel somewhere. So, the long distance that you're traveling may be within like 4 to 6 hours. So maybe you're going north near the New York State Republic. Maybe you're going south near North Carolina State Republic, for example, for those of you in the Maryland State Republic. So when you go to get your hair done, enjoy that getting done. However, what I will say here with that energy, there may be some changes that you may have to make because maybe there was something that got, something that was missing, maybe as a tool that you didn't have to execute said look for yourself. So improvise. Don't be afraid to improvise, because what you'll actually find out, you'll find something out that you've learned, and you're like, oh, I never thought of things like that. So even though you may be upset about not having some particular element pertaining to the whole hair getting done type energy, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to be creative and still get the job done. Trust it won't make you too late for your travels, but you'll be able to make your travels nonetheless. And with that, I yield the floor. Luna's conjunct Pluto, obviously, because it's right there with it while in Capricorn. Luna's conjuncting Pluto, however, while in the 5th house at 28 degrees. All right. Here is where, mother and children, I think, and, maybe you're the mom getting your hair done and you're letting your little one do it, right? Your little one, maybe, I don't know, in their early 20s. But they've worked with you, maybe in that shop I was just talking about. So it's nothing for them to do the hair that particular way. However, what I think may definitely happen here, because maybe, just maybe, that long distance traveling you're doing, it may be for a funeral, or it may be for the fact that maybe not only are you someone who does hair, but you have this part-time gig of being a midwife. And so maybe you're assisting in bringing life to the planet. All righty. And with that being said, the traveling that you have to do, or you said that you have to do, you want to make sure that when you go to, do these things and travel, you want to be able to be comfortable so that you can actually make it very fortunate, not only for the mother, but also the child, as there's this transformation pertaining to life that's definitely taking place. And this inward transformation that may be taking place is in addition to someone's family. So allow yourself to be very present in that moment. So as I said, previous to this transit, as the hair is getting done, so to speak, make sure this is allowing you to be very mobile. So I'm kind of getting the image of somebody having their hair pulled back and tied downward instead of necessarily being up. But if it is going to be up, make sure it's very secure so you can have a fluid moment in time in helping someone to manifest new life to the planet. And with that, I yield the floor. there's a moon void, of course, that's actually taking place at that time to, be specific, right? And Luna's going void, of course, I think for about 2 hours and 52 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours and 42 minutes. Alrighty, and it's when it egresses, it's going to take 2 hours and 42 minutes till it egresses Capricorn, and then ingress Aquarius, right? Where I told you Luna's going to be transiting Aquarius for under 48 minutes. However, at about 10:31, Luna's ingressing Aquarius. Is taking place in the 4th house. So looky, Astro Cookie. Sudden changes in the home, guys. Alrighty. So if these sudden changes that are taking place in the home, or maybe, just maybe, someone's making a move, right? Interesting how Pluto is still there and in the 4th house. So what I'm actually thinking here, with this being said, I trust that there's no fires taking place here. Honestly, I really trust that there's no fires taking place here. Where is Venus? Man, Venus is at the Aries degree in Leo, bro. I really trust that there's no fires taking place here. So serious. Even a 10th house on the Aries degree. And then, that Capricorn degree for that Libra ascendant. What I will say here, when it comes to this, make sure you're not being overly plugging things, like not overly like negligent about what's being plugged into the wall as far as electricity and things of that nature in the home. Even when you leave, what might be wise to do also is if you haven't had the electricity check, or there's something electrical in the home that you've been having issues with, just hit the main breaker and shut it off if you're going to be doing some traveling. And with that, I yield the floor. Lastly, for this, for the 28th, Luna's going to try Mars at about 1100 hours and 39 minutes. 1100 hours, 39 minutes, and 3 seconds to be exact, for the 28th August 2023. All right, so here, this is interesting. All right, I'm looking at there being when it comes to sharp objects and security, I just really got this feeling that maybe, just maybe, you guys are going to recognize that as you're traveling, right? Someone's going to notice a nail in your tire. And I think the beauty in the nail being in the tire is that you have Fix-A-Flat ready. or you're gonna, before you go to the gas station, before you leave, you're gonna go to the gas station and notice that. You're gonna be like, hey, this tire is kind of flat. I wonder why it's flat. And you spot the nail type energy. And it just so happens that you have some Fix-A-Flat, or you're able to get your hands in an emergency Fix-A-Flat, or maybe even before you travel, you're able to go to a tire spot and have the tire plugged. That's kind of what I see, because I'm just really seeing, and it's very interesting. I'm seeing a sharp object, but there's this harmony in using a sharp object to secure something. So maybe the nail is allowing you to finally get that tire fixed, or getting a new tire before you travel, or maybe, just maybe, what you're able to do in your travels, as you're traveling, you recognize conveniently that you forgot to go get the tire done, and this would be a good time before you travel, and gives you enough time to hurry up and get the tire changed. And guess what? The tire spot's not packed. So make sure you're taking care of that. And with that, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom we are well pleased, Brother Sean Alim El Islam.
Islam, bro, going in. People, y'all better be listening. Looking out for things like the world would run a lot smoother if folks, really took some advice or things they weren't aware of, right? Not in the doom and gloom way. It's like, okay, well, let me, look out for that. And it's like, oh, wow, I actually, heard some things and, was able to avoid some situations, just not being stuck in my own thinking. But, all right, moving on, right? Sun's at 5 degrees, 51 minutes Virgo. Yeah. This is probably cleaning out some creative projects, maybe going through a flash drive on this day, or doing some storage cleanup on one's devices, also on one's health. Maybe getting to some herbs or looking to do a detox of some sort. All right. Just getting the health together and being creative about it. Actually loving about getting one's health together, making changes to the diet, maybe making changes to one's, furry friend's diet, right? Doing those things. And with that, I yield the floor. All right, so first up, we've got a lunar Venusian reflection. All right.
I go back? 20 degrees. Oh no, I didn't. Forgive me. Go ahead. Hold on. Time out.
Oh yeah, you jumped up. Yeah, we went up.
That's what I'm thinking.
We went up into September.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, hold up. Forgive me. There we go. My apologies.
Still in the same spots though. 50 up. If you're looking. Yeah, I was kind of got my Nate dog on hold up, but all right, so still occurring in the 6.
That's why I was like, hold on, did I jump for it? Yeah.
It's still going down in the 6 and 12 houses. So this is Luna is in Aquarius at 12 degrees, Venus at 12. So once again, we know that these are just Piscean degrees. So we're really reflecting on the beauty without our lives, right? That happens on the inside and happens on the outer. Really just looking at how we communicate with people, whether it's in the heart or whether it's building rapport, right? By the mind, by communicating those things within the mind. Yeah. And this is maybe even too getting like some coworkers to be able to get together, possibly, right? Be able to get over some initial things that might have had kind of like the secret beef or whatever, as some would say, within things, or disagreements, right? Just able to reflect on things like one might be just in their mind about, but someone else is like really heartful about it. So able to make two ends meet, right? With that energy. It's interesting too, the final dispositors are also just coming out of that reflection. So yeah, something is getting resolved actually. When you look at Sun at 5 degrees, 52 minutes Virgo, Saturn's at 3, both in the 6th and 12th. As we know, I think I just went over that. Sun reflects Saturn. So things are being resolved. So moving forward, right? Rather than saying things that need to be said at the moment, rather than just trying to hold on or wait to try to add some things up, and just really be clear with oneself when it comes to the communication. Internally first, it's kind of like maybe a self-checkup, right? Maybe talking oneself in the mirror, doing self-pep talk, or consulting those as a therapist of some sort, and really just looking at the things, right?
Pardon me, did I miss the change, or I changed this early just now?
Early, but I was wrapping up, bro. So yeah, flowing into the next. Yeah, I was definitely wrapping on that one, Sun and Jupiter. All right, this is current 11/11. How beautiful is that, right? 11/11/04 to be exact. Since that's 11, that's definitely during the mooring, right? Anti-meridian, some would say. So, all right, and this is the 4th and the 7th houses. It's a square, so some would say challenges or type of things, but this is just working with the grain when it comes to one's mindset and how one is actually being that self-guru with others, right? Jupiter in the 7th. So this is bringing value to our self-message. And with Mars, let's see, Mars rolling over that. Mars is in 11th. So maybe we're going to see, more personal videos or more journeys, but everyone able to really show the beauty within themselves. And it might come off in a strong kind of way. So maybe one, I think there's that quote, fortune favors the bold. So yeah, Mars is at 1 degree and the Sun is at 1 degree. So yeah, being of service, but being bold, but also really bringing a beautiful product that one has created for themselves within the home. So maybe it's some self-care routines or some kind of study work, maybe an agenda for the little one's school, for the children's school. Able to meet with those, maybe a parent-teacher meeting, right, is going to occur on this day. I know what parent-teacher meeting is coming up, all right? Yeah, and Mercury is rolling over the Mars in the 11th, so yeah, really just getting into the details. I don't know how many times we can say it, but yeah, really get into the details and even of thinking of ways that maybe one hasn't thought of before, or making note of the Akashic downloads or random moments, and making note of that and doing the necessary research, right? So and it's at 11:11, so yeah, definitely if one is right there, checking your phone in that moment, definitely see what comes up around that time, right? And with that, I yield. Moving along to my final aspect. Luna is going to be squaring Uranus, and it's the last aspect before it goes void, of course, which will be 10 hours, 52 minutes. So, guys, this is occurring at 11:04. I'm going to say it 4, right? 11:04. Make sure that you get all your essentials, before 11:04 or 23:04. It's going to be void, of course, until 9:56 that next morning. So cop everything you need now, or just wait till you rise. No late night shopping. What's up, bro? Yeah, Luna's in the 10th. Yeah, this is definitely in the 12th. 23:04. All right, so yeah.
You see that, bro? That's like wild, bro.
Yeah.
God, that is wild.
Man. Goodness.
At 23:04, they're both at 23:04. It's amazing, bro. I yield, man. I yield.
So yeah. Copping things in for Luna Uranus. This is just using things that one feels like is a limit to themselves or a challenge. Use it as motivation. If you stump your toe, against your bed, right, or stump your toe against the desk, instead of it still hurts. You can yell, but it's like, you know what? Next time I'm gonna watch where I'm stepping. And just using, as they would say, minor or disadvantages in the day to one's transformation to continue to work on self-mastery. Chiron and North Node and Jupiter is, also in that 12th house. So expanding the things that are meant for us as purpose. But first it comes by healing the wounds and realizing that one must continue to heal those wounds. So yeah, see that beauty and that wisdom. And with that, I will yield, and yeah. That void, of course. So get everything before that.
Yep, 10 hours and 52 minutes that void of course at 2304, as in, that last aspect to Uranus quartile, right? So after Luna squares Uranus, there's 10 hour and 52 minute void of course, right? However, let's speak about this sunrise before Luna ingresses Pisces at 9:56 a.m. Eastern. So with that being said, guys, for this particular sunrise, we see that the sun is 11 minutes away from flirting with the degree pertaining to dress, right? So can prepare for your fashion. However, here is where I think we're paying extra attention to detail at work and even in our health overall. It's so funny. However, I think what we're actually paying attention to here is really making that which is foreign to us or maybe new to us a part of our daily routine. So you wake up this morning and think of how you can continue to stay motivated to make something that you've learned about, way before Mercury went retrograde. However, you're taking this time to do your best to practice it. However, the real challenge, and I hope that you've been doing these things before then, maybe this just may be on your mind, and finding a way, I guess, to maybe even write down or keep a journal pertaining to that which you've learned that's new to you, maybe a sense of higher learning that's taking place while paying extra attention to the detail pertaining to one's health. And with that, I yield the floor. At approximately 9:56 anti-meridian Eastern for the 30th, Luna's ingressing Pluto. And Luna's ingressing Pluto in the 5th house, collectively speaking. Venus there in Leo at the Pisces degree is ruling over a Cancerian degree, kind of Libra there. So I think here when it comes to that water, I really see it's probably where you want to be able to pay some extra attention to your kidneys. I know I was just said water a lot here, but maybe you should be on about your third bottle of water here, so to speak. What I think would be also best is don't allow yourself to incarcerate yourself because you may not have been clear on how to be creatively disciplined. So what you can do is maybe isolate some things about how you would like to structure the balance in your life so that you can be able to, stand confidently and be able to relate to others that are probably taking certain health choices. Find a means to, be creative. Maybe there's some things that you did in another portion of your life that dealt with a completely different activity. Maybe you want to take some of those things, incorporate them into what you're doing with your own health, with your body also. And if it comes to certain things about water intake, make it fun for yourself. Make it a game. Make it something where, you can set a goal for yourself. So here you may want to pay extra close attention to making sure you're drinking maybe, for example, 4 bottles of water before noon, so that by the time you allow yourself to partake in some fruit before even going in on a salad or something. Shout out to my beloved mother, mistress, consort, and who I'm well pleased. Just because I'm speaking from experience, that which was actually shared with me. What you'll actually see is, you'll actually see that you're making some necessary transformations that will take away some insecurities. All righty. So help your self-esteem by being creative with disciplining yourself pertaining to your health. And with that, I yield the floor. Luna's conjunct Saturn, of course, right? Look how close it is there. And it's taking place at 3 degrees, all right? 34 minutes, while Saturn's retrograde, right? Taking place in the 2nd house, guys. What I like to say here, when it comes to communication and being able to be effective with that communication, make sure what you're bringing to the forefront pertaining to that communication is some of your own values, right? Share your experiences. You may be speaking with someone you may be coming across, especially with Mercury being retrograde, running into someone from your past that you may have taken lessons from before. And guess what? They're looking for your assistance. So there's a means for you to be able to donate or give your wisdom, so to speak, to them in a time where maybe they could have overlooked something. Maybe they've been so busy in helping out other people and haven't been open about seeking help from others. You can be the one that really allows them to partake in being helped like they help others without even making them feel uncomfortable. You can just do it just out of your heart, and maybe they'll actually recognize it while it's happening or by the time it's complete, and they'll thank you more than anything. Prepare though, possibly they may thank you in ways that you didn't expect. Maybe a little tear that may get shed, or you may feel energy rush of sentimentalism that's probably going to seem like on the verge of breaking down. But if they keep it together, you'll nonetheless be able to see that they are super appreciative, to the point of almost having tears of joy being expression, as far as thanking you for that. With that, I yield the floor. Full moon taking place. The full moon is our last one. I and Brother Sean went in on that full moon on our Intuition Monday presentation, guys. If I'm not mistaken, that's what we went in on this Monday that just passed. It was 2 days ago, right? They're on the 21st, right? So that new moon is taking place at 21 degrees, 35 minutes, and 24 seconds. All righty. This was in the Virgo zone when we went over it during our Intuition Monday, right? It's taking place at 7 degrees, 25 minutes. See Luna there in the 11th house, of course. Wow, they're in the 5th house. There's the sun having this accidental dignity in the 5th. Guys, here we get to really do ourselves some justice, all righty? And doing ourselves some justice pertaining to really the values of our own standing amongst our peers. You know, there may be someone that's always looked up to, or you may have someone that within the group of your friends circle or whatever that you look up to. What I think will actually happen here is a divine balance of there being a moment in being human, right? There's this humanity moment that really takes place. And I think the fascination and denial of one being the one that's always the creative one or the like leadership energy, you'll actually see that they have no problem serving you and really being there for you as you've been there for them, kind of continuation of that energy that I just spoke on. However, here, what's being reflected though, ultimately, in a humanitarian fashion, what's really being reflected is a pay it forward type of energy instead of paying it, you know, back because something was done special within the group or done specifically special for someone in the group. That energy is being moved forward, which thus sets in order and energy for perpetual reciprocation for everyone involved to thrive. So this is where I will say, be vitally creative in how you serve one another. You'll definitely have that balance in that self-expression so that what's really secured is a means to have a spiritual moment and isolating that said balance while making the sudden changes necessary within one another. And with that, I yield the floor. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. All right, this evening, like I said, we had some other, you know, things that was just kind of important to take care of, guys, just to be completely honest with you. However, want to make sure that y'all join us on Saturday, right? Join us on Saturn Day, right? Go to 7heelstar.com, sign up for our email list so you can get that email that comes out next day. Next day, what I mean next day is Thursday, right? Some people say tomorrow, right? And make sure you get ye hands on this act, right? So with that being said, like I said, sign up for that email list. And remember, I'm going to scroll on down here, right? And I'm going to click on classes and events. And guys, we want you all to show up for this right here this Saturday, right? And remember, guys, it is the Astrology Concepts Correction Discussion. The Universally Professional Astrology Community presents Astrology Concepts Discussion, 26th August 2023, Saturday at noon till about 1400, right? So from 1200 to 1400, or from 12 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. This is free for members. So those of you that are members pertaining to TUPAC, can't wait to see you guys there. Of course, that email is going to go out to also tomorrow, quote unquote. If you're a non-member, but yet you have a student card, right? For example, if you have a Moor's Heritage and History School student card, we will make sure it is only 15 units for you, even if you're a non-member. Or if you have any student card, actually, for that matter, just make sure I see it, right? So that I can analyze that. Because if it's not a student card, for real, right? It's 30 units, all righty, via the Cash App at the Caduceus symbol or $ OurAstrologyStreet. 30 units for non-members. Free for members, 15 for non-members with the student card, 30 for non-members without the student card, all righty? And it will be taking place on Zoom. But of course, you want to come here with pen and paper ready. I'm not sure if I want to record that discussion, y'all. I'm keeping it banned with you.
Man, yo, because we got in the last cycle. Woo. And it just be like so random, like how we come up with like something to say. We're like, okay, do. Oh. It's like, oh, snap. Well, here we are. 2 hours later. All right, guys, we got to close the Zoom or we're going to go over our time that we saved. For real.
That's why, because I'm doing 2 hours. We're not going over 2 hours. Bump that, 2 hours, but it was rich. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely rich. And I even remember what we went over because it was a rabbit hole was prepared to the point where we was able to look in one of the charts particular to one of those beings we had analyzed. And we like, dang, man, this is what happened in their life at this particular time. So if we did record it, it would, it would just be for us to go back over that and analyze what we said, man, honestly.
Really?
But, I'm thinking if we did record it and people wanted the recording, I think I'm going to need a little bit more coin for the recording because that way, the bros are getting compensated further, guys, because, we can't just keep giving stuff away. However, 2 hours is good enough for the brain, right? Honestly, because usually we go 4 hours into a workshop, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just you guys are going to need about 2 to 3 breaks in a 4-hour discussion. And that's how it is with our workshops, but they still rock. You definitely get a recording when you come to a workshop. However, the discussion is, we can speak about anything at random during these discussions. So guys, don't hesitate, right? You can come on and check it on out it, right? Click it for the 26th when you do it, right? I know someone is I think this someone? Yeah, someone has already kind of like, hey, I think I'm going to be there, all right? So with that being said, we look forward to you guys definitely sharing that thing on out. So with that, we're going to yield here, guys. Remember, make sure you go to Copper Crystal Canvases also, right? Make sure you get all your Copper Crystal Canvas needs, guys. Because remember, 7 Hill Star is about healing stars. So most of the things that we put together from astrology and even the good sister for Copper Crystal Canvases, these things, when ye actually partake in the astrology, wear the Copper Crystal Canvases or have the Copper Crystal Canvases within your garden to help the growth of your plants, you will see a huge growth and change, right? And for those that would like to join TUPAC, never forget, ever forget TUPAC workshops, memberships, and Mosley tuition. Indeed, you guys can join for a lifetime. It's 250 units in lieu of lawful money. for a lifetime, right? Shout out to you guys that did join. You guys are awesome, right? And you got your hands on this. You guys can still get your hands on this recording. I'll make sure you guys can get your hands on the quick thinking Moon and Mercury recordings that took place on the 12th and 13th. However, the information that was gone over them are timeless. And it's like 2 minutes and 2 minutes and about 26, 24 seconds shy of 10 hours instead of the 8 that I promised, right? However, you guys exchange that 250 units for a lifetime. Definitely will be used for good cause, right? To make sure that the brothers Hassan and brother Sean can continue to do what it is that we do. All right. And having the energy necessary for ourselves to make sure we can keep bringing you guys what it is that you need. Because we definitely recognize that we're just going to keep healing the stars. And who are those stars? Those are you guys, right? And that healing is taking place due to you actually doing self-reflection. However, the self-reflection really happens in a mirror AstroLiteracy session. So guys, make sure you sign up for a mirror AstroLiteracy session with Brother Hassan, guys, the Obey, and get your mental magician report from Brother Sean Alino. All right. However, you sign up, guys, like I said, those extras, right? Those extras that they got, those that attended the Quick Thinking Moon and Mercury, guys, you're not getting those extras. However, what you can get is that membership for $250. And then when we have our astrology discussions or anything else where members get it either free or at a discounted eleemosynary tuition for other workshops to come, you can take advantage of that. This is so that we can be able to have within our community that which is in a lot of these other communities internationally that Seven Hill Star is actually a part of, guys. All righty. So set your priorities accordingly and make astrology and civics as shared by Seven Hill Star just as important in your life as eating, having clothing and food, right? And shelter. All right. And I'm serious about that. All right. It's a necessity. All right. So with that being said, Brother Sean, any last questions, comments, and or suggestions? Going once.
You already know where to go. For those watching with us, for those that this comes across, sevenhillstar.com. Nobody shares it how we share it. So please just share it. We're gonna continue to do what we do regardless. Like, if Seven Hill Star heals stars. If you know you're a star, come get yourself here healed so you can shine brighter. And if you don't know you're a star, you know what I'm saying? What that song? If you are, you know what I'm saying? You would just say you are, or if you don't even know what you are, get the sessions. We get very detailed. It's once again, Sun is in Virgo. It's best to kill one's ego by not being organized, by being disorganized and getting these sessions to get one organized and get yourself back on track. Or, if one's at a standstill, to be able to, have the information needed, to unlock within yourself and to be shown within yourself to know which path to take. Be aware of the cycles that are occurring in your life, the themes that are occurring. If one wants to party, make sure one is partying with the, the nature's law of vibration cycles, rather than, things are, like I said, there's things we can still, enjoy here and there, but it's best to make sure that one is on track and in a proper vibration with nature. And then one can really see and, disassociate, disconnect from, things that are occurring. It's like, those movies, how they'll be enclosed in their own little ball with chaos going everywhere else. It's, knowing that one's great here in the physical, but also having that mindset and that vision, to really see things. So yeah, make sure y'all get in these sessions, get in the CMOS and, to continue to work day in and day out. Like I'm on my Kobe stuff right now. I'm going to watch some Kobe clips. I think his solar return might have been today or maybe tomorrow. I know it's around at some point, but yeah, getting these sessions, and then like I said, we're working with these things to have our own stuff, as just how everyone else says, oh well, the quote unquote white Europeans, whatever y'all call them, say they got this and that. We're doing that same thing for our community, to have this astrological society, to have the civics. Brother Son has the coloring books, AstroLogyStreet for the children. So we have everything. It's just is everyone really ready to work with us so that we can set things up where everyone is at to have all these things? And this ain't no big eyes, little U's, or we're better than you. This is like, really being about unity. Really being about our people and being about, a better local and global community together. And we know that everyone here across the world is looking here in Northwest to make some, because we're, termed the North Hub. We're the hub,
so
we're supposed to be
questions, comments, and or suggestions.
So peace.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So yeah, definitely, share us out. We get all that. Get the teacher edition. Get it.
I think it's a delay, so forgive me.
And then if you hear me now, get those. Get it for your babies. All right, be able to get your session and then teach them. How powerful is that? How healing and powerful is that to be able to learn for yourself and teach the babies? What you doing, baby? You want to say hey to everybody? No, I'm staying down there. Good. Service health. There she go. Say hey, Fury.
Right. Indeed. So remember, we have the first astrology coloring book ever. My first astrology coloring book is what I showed you y'all. My first astrology coloring book, and these AstroCore cubes. Right. This is what we have for the children. There's some extras that come in that literature set, guys. But yeah, I know, right? I think origami is good for the mind also. So I know it's like, whoa, we got to fold that. It's complicated. Why isn't it easy? It's multiple uses here with this. So I trust you guys don't beat yourself, treat yourself, right? Get yourself a compass and square, right? That's what, because I know when I did my workshops live, especially those that ever did the first workshop at House of Real Awakening Minds that I did, what was that, 2018 that I had did that workshop. I make sure I always give people school supplies, right? So shout out to Mother Energy, because when people didn't show up to another workshop that I did for, I had, counted for a certain amount of people show up, whatever supplies I had left over, I had donated to Mother Energy and her little ones. You know what I'm saying? So I used to make sure people will always have a compass and square, have some math tools to be able to, cash charts by hand. Questions, comments, and or suggestions going twice. Open 642 says, greetings to you, mother. Brother Seven says, Islam. See, Thomas gives laughter at a time where I'm pretty sure he was going in on something. He also says Islam. Brother Seven says, okay, Islam, peace and love. He says, Brother Jack Blash Bay says, love and respect my brothers. And Brother C. Thomas says, what's the box you are constructing? Those are AstroCore cubes. The AstroCore cubes actually are, astrological blocks that, when you know the pattern of astrology. I have a video on it also at probably, if I'm not mistaken, it might be on 7 Hill Star. However, the reason that AstroLiteracy exists is because I made the coloring books and the blocks first, and then came up with the puppets and everything as far as showing to further even promote the coloring books and the AstroCore cubes. The teacher's editions are a little different because I have to, make sure that the blocks have that finish on it that it has. But the regular edition, I think I'm going to do, like I said, for 60 units. I'm going to make sure that that number is changed on the website for the literature, change that number to 60 units because of what it takes for me to actually produce it due to everything else that's happening until we're able to get supplies, way we could get them, provided we set up certain accounts and have certain documentations, letters, writs put into the proper channels. So these people could feel like, hold on, I'm doing something beneficial. Let me help out more Americans. Here you go. Here's our donation so that you can continue to produce more literature and all these other things. That's what I'm planning on to take place. So those are the Astro Aura Cubes, right? When you get the coloring book, you get the Astro Aura Cubes, and you get 3 other things too that are not necessarily included, with just, if you just wanted the coloring books and the blocks itself. But I gave you guys some other things too that when you actually look at it and see what I gave you, like, oh my God, I have all the basics for astrology here in a book so that I can do things at a quick glance and read some astrology for myself. So, however, even though it's for the children, however, I've had a lot of grown beings get the coloring book and Astro Aura Cubes because the purpose for this material and Astrology Street is to lovingly force, mothers, fathers, and their little ones together to study together when it comes to the astrology, because it's necessary. You know what I mean? When you have the astrology for all your loved ones and you guys are on the same page, at least by learning it, studying it, and just kind of incorporating it every day in your life, you'll see a beauty unfold that you're like, man, this is really what we've been missing from our lives. All right. So that's what that is. So with that, questions, comments, and those suggestions going thrice. That's where I and Brother Sean say, be yourselves and
donate.
Donate. All righty. So you guys check the description. You'll see I and Brother Sean's Cash Apps are in there. There's 2 separate Cash Apps. All right. So you guys can make your donations there. All righty. So with that being said, guys, this is where I would like to say to y'all, rest and recharge well. Catch Brother Sean and I. Tomorrow is Pump and Dump Thursday at lawfulliving.com. So for those of you that are part of Money Talks, I thought though on Tuesday she said she was going to open it up for everybody. I think she maybe changed it, you know what I mean? And she had a buzzer beater change. Or it's just Money Talks. Well, I know if you're part of Money Talks, you definitely, well, you know what? No, you got to be a part of Money Talks.
Yeah, I think it was. I think she kept it just Money Talks because she was like, not everybody. And I'm like, okay, but bro, you already know we up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We like a heart. We don't miss a beat.
Yeah, if you don't get a link from me, don't be upset. I'm just respecting how the sister wanted to go for her platform, you know what I mean? And so it's like, all right, cool. But those of you that, are part of the All Access team, see you there, right? So with, absolutely, right? So with that being said, then on Friday, impromptu improv, we're going in on Article 2 to the Zodiac Constitution, right? And doing what we do. Make sure we have some fun with that, right? And continuing on going over the Zodiac Constitution. And Saturday, you guys know it's our astrology concepts correction discussion for the 26th. And then we're going in on the 29th chapter of the Holy Quran on Sunday for our AstroCivics Sunday number 45. I think that's 45 we're going in on, bro. AstroCivics Sunday 45. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, we went in, it was 44 we went in on for chapter 30. So
yep, definitely 45.
Yeah. Indeed, right? When the 4 or 5, it ain't to play games with you. Anyway, so guys, this is where we say rest and recharge well. We love you y'all. From I, Brother Sean Ali Mel, Brother Corey Bay, Brother Terrell Tamari Bay, and Brother R. Muwabe Bay. This is where we say to you all, rest and recharge well. We love you. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace.
Peace.